You've got lots of real estate questions. Should I downsize? What improvements do I need to make before I sell? What will Connecticut's real estate market be like in 6 months? It's time for The Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. He's got your answers. Call 203-333-9422. Now, here's your host, Pat Civitella.
Hello to everyone, and good evening, and thanks for tuning in to The Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Pat Civitella, with over 35 years' experience in the real estate investing game. This show is about creating long-term wealth through real estate investing, and also can show you how to produce passive and residual income in real estate. I'm going to share with you my knowledge and my guidance and inside information that most people are not aware of, and I can also show you how to develop and generate a secondary or primary income from real estate investing. And in the show, we also talk about home improvement tips, how to increase the value and the best return on your home improvements. So I encourage everyone to listen to the show. And this show tonight is brought to you by our friends at 1-800-MR-JUNKER. 1-800-MR-JUNKER, junk removal made easy. They will take the good, the bad, and the ugly. No need to do anything except for point what you want gone, either one item or complete house or business cleanout. At 1-800-MR-JUNKER is ready to serve you, serving Fairfield and New Haven counties for over 15 years. Please call our friends there and mention Pat Civitella on WICC and get 10% off your job. Yes, that's 1-800-MR-JUNKER for all your junk and cleanup removal. They also offer same-day service and their hot tub removal specialist, and have also a free junk car removal service. Call 1-800-MR-JUNKER today, and you will be happy that you did. Okay, thank you for tuning in to the show tonight. And first, I wanted to say hello to my granddaughters, Mia Civitella and Juliana Rosa. And Pop loves you very much, and we had fun today at the beach at the house. My mission statement for this show that I've neglected to go over a couple times in the last few shows, but the point of the show, my goal for the show, is to get people started in investing in real estate as early as possible. I mean, also you can start it really at any time, but earlier the better. Is always time is on your side is best. And I just want to offer my knowledge and information to people out there. I've been doing this for 35 years and been pretty successful at it. I'm going to give you my contact information because the show goes pretty quick. The half hour goes by real quick. My information to contact me anytime during the week, it's patcivitella@gmail.com. That's PATCIVITELLA@gmail.com. My office number is 203-736-2484. That's 203-736-2484. And then also I have a Facebook group. It's called the Connecticut Real Estate Investors Group. It's on Facebook. You can sign up for that group or contact me through there also. So those are the best three ways to contact me. And be happy to answer any questions. If you have any or interested in buying or selling real estate or any type of information related to real estate questions, give me a call at the office. Also, there will be no obligation if you need information on the value of your home or what you're thinking of selling it for. Give me a call. I'll be happy to give you a no obligation price opinion of the property, and we can go from there. So that's the contact information for me. I'm going to go into a couple of different topics that I wanted to cover that didn't have on the last show, and one of them is a lot of people sometimes can't afford to get into a property, or not necessarily can't afford it, Rich, but there is a program that people are not aware of. It's called a rent-to-own on properties. And Rich is looking at me like, what is that all about? But
yeah, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, there's properties out there that people are not aware of unless you're tuned into, let's say, someone like my show or into the real estate, that are available for rent to own. What that means is, and I've done this myself through the years, people don't have good credit, but they have plenty of down payment money. So a person, as a matter of fact, I saw one today online, a person is willing to rent the property to an individual with bad credit, but with a decent down payment. And how that works is, let's take for an example, the home is going to be sold for like $350,000, Rich. The down payment normally, let's say, is going to be 10%. So they have the 10% down, and then they're going to lock in that price at the time you rent to own it. Let's say that $350 number, and then they're going to give you. Normally, I've done it in a 12-month or 24-month period that gives the initial tenant the opportunity to clean up their credit. So normally within 12 months, depending on how bad the credit is, 12 to 18 or 24 months is enough time to get someone's credit back up to where it needs to be to get a decent mortgage rate. So that's the whole purpose of it. Is you'd be surprised how many people out there that their credit is really shot and they can't do it, can't get it going. But they have the money for the down payment, but they're not able to go conventional mortgages through the bank or through mortgage brokers or whatever. And people that want to sell their property and offer it to people on a rent-to-own basis it's a whole different avenue out there. And what happens is, let's say the $350 is the purchase price with the down payment and everything. Let's say it comes out with normal interest rates, whatever the going rate is, let's say 7% today. And the normal mortgage payment would be, $3,000, let's say, or $2,500. Let's use $2,500. That would be the rental payment. And then part of that rental payment, a percentage of it, or a flat dollar amount of it. Let's say $2,500 is the agreed upon rent to pay. But normally what the landlord, or like I did myself, is I would give a credit out of that $2,500 a month. I would give $500 credit at closing down the road at the predetermined date, whether it's going to be the 18-month or the 24-month. So whatever the number is agreed upon at closing now, to get a conventional mortgage, hopefully after the 18 months or 24 months, the person has cleaned up their credit. They're able to go to the bank or a mortgage broker and say, okay, we're going to buy the property now. So now you're going to take your initial down payment and also add in all the credits that the landlord is going to give you, and also put it on the closing there. So it's a win-win for both on the landlord side, and that works best for the landlord is when the market, obviously not when the market is so good today here, but sometimes when it's tough to sell a property, you're able to attract more buyers, and those buyers that can't get a conventional mortgage, they're out there that are wanting to get into a home, but they could only do it with a rent-to-own property. Is
that a multifamily or a single family, or could you do both?
Mostly it's with single family, but it could be done on any type of property, as long as the seller or the landlord is comfortable doing the deal, and then it works both ways, because the renter or the renter and a possible buyer at the end of the term, has a lot invested into this deal, so it kind of behooves him not to go through at the end of because the seller's thinking, well, I don't know if I want to do this kind of deal. Well, the guy's giving you so much up front, then he's paying every month, and then at the end of the term, he's willing to go get the mortgage. So sometimes it works out for all parties. So that product is available out there, which a lot of people don't know that it is, but there is a lot of people that have their credit. They have a credit problem, but they have plenty of down payment money. So but you go to a regular lender, Rich, you can't get a mortgage, because if your credit score is below 600, you're stuck. But then there's people that are in that category, but they still want to be able to buy or own the property. So that's how that would fit into.
You got to build up credit somehow,
right? So you figure you give them 12 months or 18 months or 2 years, and by then there's plenty of time to clean up your credit and get you we call it bankable, or be able to get a mortgage and get you funded there. And that way there it takes the owner out of the equation. He gets paid and everybody's happy to go. So that's a possibility out there. It's called a rent to own. If anyone has any questions on that, contact me at my office or email. But there's stuff out there that's available like that. Like I said, I just saw one today that caught my eye, and that's why I wrote it on my bullet point sheet here that I wanted to discuss with everybody. So I think we're going to take just a little quick 1-minute break here. Are we good for that, Rich? Okay, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back. Thank you.
Got real estate questions? Call 203-333-9422 and ask Uncle Pat.
All right, well, welcome back to the show. And, we just went over that rent-to-own possibility or deals that are out there that people weren't aware of. I also wanted to go over one more time this the 10 Commandments of buying a home. I thought it was so good that I want to repeat it again here. From one of my members on my Facebook group. It says the 10 Commandments of buying a home or just buying real estate in general. Number 1, thou shalt not change jobs or become self-employed or quit their job. And the reason behind that is your lender right away, they check make sure you're working before they let that money go out, that day of the closing. Number 2, thou shalt not buy a truck, car, or a van. Yeah, you don't want to increase any of your expenses prior to closing on that property. Number 3, it says, "Thou shalt not use credit cards excessively or let current accounts fall behind," and that's very true. Make sure you keep your credit cards low, you keep your bills paid on time, and keep your credit strong. The next one is, "Thou shalt not spend money." Thou shalt not spend money put aside for closing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, if you got the money to put aside that you have for your closing, obviously don't go spend it. That's like common sense, what we talked about before, Rich. Thou shalt not omit debts or liabilities on my loan application. That's, again, that could be loan fraud, so you got to make sure you're legitimate and write down everything. Thou shalt not buy furniture for a new home until after the close. Like I was telling Rich before, this lady told me that several times she's gone to a closing and then people, went and bought furniture before they closed. And, what people don't realize is that the bank actually won't close on the property. And the day of your closing, let's say you're scheduled at 3 o'clock, Rich, at 9 o'clock in the morning, they run your credit that same day. And people aren't aware of that. They think like, oh, it's in the bag. I got pre-approved. Everything's all set and everything. The day of the closing, they run your credit and they check all your information as far as having your work and everything else. And if something goes wrong, you're not closing. People think like, oh, because I got it pre-approved and our closing is scheduled, that morning of your closing, they're checking your credit.
Not till the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
Absolutely. So don't generate any new credit inquiries on your report. And thou shalt not make huge deposits without checking with your loan officers. That's a must. Do not change your bank accounts or close bank accounts, anything like that. And do not co-sign for anyone or any other loan. I mean, like I said, 99% of this is all common sense, but apparently it's not common sense to everybody, Rich. So that's why I wanted to bring it up to everybody's attention. I thought it was good information.
Finance is a thing that probably should be taught in high school. To give you an idea, when I was in my senior year, I had a history teacher who did Russian history the first half of the year. The second half, he did the third quarter was on how to fill out your 1040 tax return.
Really?
And then the final quarter he did on how to invest in the stock market, and he gave every student, said, here's a make-believe $50. look at the different stocks.
Stocks are what you want to buy, right?
And then at the end of the quarter, he gave us maybe like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And you look at them, and you can buy and sell, and you got an idea how the stock market
absolutely
actually works.
I agree, and I think they should start teaching kids in 5th grade about money and finances. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I remember it. I don't know if it was a math class or one of the classes. They actually taught us how to, write a check. He had a checkbook and everything, and how to write a check out, and how to go to the bank and get a checking account and so forth. And I think I was like 15 or 16 years old, and I had my first checking account. So finances, I think it's in the school system in this country is very under taught and underperformed. I think kids should be taught from day one about money. I have my granddaughter who's in 1st grade, and she's been learning about how to make change and how to read the 5 cents, 10 cents, quarters, and all that. And I always practice with her, and I say, how much is 3 quarters and 3 pennies? And they should teach that from day one, and I'm glad they are teaching her that.
How many times do you go through and you're paying cash for something, and you give them the exact change?
Oh, God.
For the pennies and dimes, and they say, "Well, we can't do that. We want it," but they don't know how to add and subtract.
That happened to me the other day. I forgot where I was. I was in McDonald's. I stopped to get a coffee or something, and I don't know. The bill was like $3.23. So I gave him a $10 bill, and I gave him the 10 first, and then obviously he rang it in, and then I says, "Oh, here's the 23." The kid is like 15, 16. He's looking at me like I got 3 heads. I go, he goes. I says, "Well, just give me back $7." So he just took my word for it and gave it back. And it's funny, like, people don't realize, like, it doesn't matter what you rang into the register as far as the amount tendered. People get confused with that. It all matters is what the sale was. They think, oh, I put in that you gave me $10. Yes, I gave you 10, but now here's the 23 cents that was on top of it. So give me back the change.
Like the amount is $9.14. You give them a $10.14, and they go, "Well, you gave me too much." You said, just give me the dollar back.
Yeah. You have to tell them how much money to give back.
Or like I love my aunt down in Virginia and she told me about trying to deal with her checking account, balancing it. And she said, if I'm off a few cents, I just add it in at the end. And
right.
I said, but that makes it even more off then the next month. And she says, I'm not going to worry about 10 cents or 25 cents or whatever, as long as it's less than $1.
Right, exactly. You're rounded up. Okay, so that was that about the thou shalt not. Another article that just came across that was very good information, and I wanted to bring it to my audience. This is from my mortgage, one of my mortgage guys. They actually have a new product out. This is dated May 18th of this year, and it's called Your Path to Home Ownership with Exclusive 0% Down. So that caught my attention, so I pulled it up, I read it, and then I printed it out for tonight's show. But they have a program now, believe it or not, because I had, I always run into this with the people during the week. Is like, I don't have enough money for the down payment, the closing cost, this, that, and the other. I says, I understand. I says, but this is something. It's called the 0% purchase program, and this is how it works. And here's step by step. It says our 0% down purchase program offers 3% down payment assistance, which normally on first-time home buyers, Rich, I always tell you can get in with 3% down. So this program actually lends you the 3%. So up to $15,000. So how it works, it says primary mortgage, you get your standard mortgage for the majority of the home's purchase price. Then what happens is they give you a secondary mortgage. We provide additional loan of 3% of the purchase price up to $15,000 to cover your down payment. And then it says no monthly payments or interest. The second loan doesn't require monthly payments, and it doesn't charge interest, which is fantastic. The repayment, you will need to pay back the second loan, which is that initial down payment, the second loan when you refinance or pay off your primary mortgage. You can make payments on this loan at any time, but it's not required. To me, this is like a no-brainer. I mean, it's a home run. I mean, I can't believe it. So the audience or people are out there saying, I don't have the money for the down payment. Here it is right here. It's a 0% program.
Does it matter whether you're a first-time home buyer or not, or it doesn't say?
It doesn't say, but I think it's geared to the first-time home buyers because they're the ones that have the hardest problem getting the down payment money. And obviously, you would probably need a decent – I thought I read something about the credit score. Oh, here it is, which is unbelievable. Minimum credit score is 620.
Wow.
So, my audience out there that, has this problem with the down payment money, here's your perfect solution. You could contact me and I could give you more information on it. But it says, who can qualify? We offer 2 ways to qualify this program. It says income-based qualification. It says income requirement. Your income must be at or below 80% of the area median income, or AMI, for your area when you're buying a home. Okay. I don't know what that means, but 80% of the median, let's say it's average home in this area is about $350, so 80% of that. Okay.
I could understand that because when I was first looking to buy in 1982, we were talking before we started that I had looked at a house here in Milford.
Right.
And because at that time the interest rates were 18.5.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I can put a larger amount down on it to bring the total balance down for the mortgage.
Right.
And they wouldn't let me do that because of what I was only making. Again, this is going back 40 years ago.
Yeah.
A whole $200 a week.
Right.
So it was barely what's that, $11,000 a year.
A year, right.
And they said, no, you can't afford that. And I said, even though I'm more financially responsible than some other people.
Right.
So maybe that's what they're kind of looking at that.
Yeah. So that was one of the income requirements. And then it says extra credit for very low income borrowers. If your income is at or below 50% of AMI, you'll get a $2,500 credit as part of the 3% assistance, which you don't have to repay. So there's another $2,500 free. Credit score minimum, I just said, that's 620. Loan to value ratio, your primary mortgage must cover 95 to 97% of the home's value. Yeah, that makes sense. And then it says option 2, first-time home buyer qualification. Excuse me. First-time home buyer, you must be a first-time home buyer, which means you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years. Credit score 700. Loan to value, primary mortgage 95 to 97% of him. And it says, why choose this program? Our 0% is designed to make buying home easier and affordable for everybody. I mean, like I said, this is an incredible program, and these products and stuff comes out. I don't know. That's why it's important to be plugged into the to the real estate investors, either through the mortgage brokers or other groups. But I thought this was awesome, unbelievable. So anybody's got any question on it, feel free to contact me at my office. I'd be happy to share the information with you.
And working through a good realtor, because the one that I had made me aware of the Connecticut first-time home buyer deal.
Yeah, the
which
Chaffa.
put me at 13.5.
Right.
And,
yeah.
I mean, that was still a lot compared to what it is now, but that was a 5% decrease from what the regular rates were at the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, there's all types of programs out there, and there's really no excuses or no reason why you shouldn't be investing in real estate. There's another article that I printed out today. Are we all right on time, Rich? We got 3 minutes. Well, I'm not going to go into this one because it's a long one, so I'm going to go into something shorter that we did. Yeah, here's a quick little article that was printed out. I think this is out in California. It says, let's see, April 24th. This is in reference to Superior Court rules government can't use permit process to coerce property owners, meaning that it says the Pacific Legal Fund recently announced that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled unanimously that legislators cannot use permit process to coerce owners into paying exorbitant development fees. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, as a developer, as myself, they want some of these towns and cities. They want to make you pay these exorbitant development fees. They say that this ruling is a major victory for property rights, removing costly barriers to development and help combat the housing crisis. And this is in California. The case began in 2016 when a man bought a vacant lot in rural El Dorado County, California, and planned to build a small home where he and his wife could live and raise their grandson. But he was told he would have to pay a so-called traffic impact fee of more than $23,000, Rich, in exchange for the building permit. I mean, talk about...
Sounds like a bribe to me.
Yeah, I mean, the county claimed he was required to pay under local legislation that sought to shift the cost of addressing existing and future road deficiencies onto new development. The court ruled that the case must be returned to the lower court to determine whether $23,000 fee was an exaction subject to the unconstitutional conditions doctrine. And the court ruled at 9-0 that such fees, otherwise the legislation fees, must satisfy the doctrine, meaning that they must closely be related to holding building permits hostage in exchange for excessive fees. So it's a great win for landlords, or a great for developers, because I mean $23,000 for a fee. Okay, so I guess we're at the end here, and I'm going to just do some closing notes that I do every week. Remember, there is good debt and bad debt, and good debt is when you're buying assets, not liabilities. Always buy assets, not liabilities. Remember, dig a well before you need it. Be prepared. Always stay positive. It's hard to soar with those eagles when you're hanging around with those turkeys. And thank you for listening to the show. Buonasera a tutti. Alla prossima settimana. Addio. Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate Show with me, your host, Pat Civitella. And God bless America.